doesn't say. Oh, yes.
Yes, we are live. Hello, everyone. If there is anyone listening, today I'm going to run the stream for my lovely husband because he's too tired. So for listening, today I'm going to run the stream for my lovely husband because he's too tired. One moment. I'm kind of listening. Today I'm going to run the.
There's something weird happening there.
Yes, I needed to do something. I think this is better. So anyway, I'm short story long, and I'm going to run it for my husband. It's me and John. John has a channel, John the Bemused. He is not posting videos really regularly, but he has some good videos. So if you're watching, please do check his channel and subscribe it if you like it. And I don't think is anyone watching even.
Well, it doesn't say so at the minute.
It doesn't say so. So
it started with 2, then it went down to 1, and now it doesn't say any. Which is weird because I'm definitely watching it on another monitor, so there is at least one of us watching.
Well, we have a choice to just, wait another 5 minutes.
Well, people do sometimes turn up, a few minutes in. I haven't seen any notifications for any big streams because sometimes there's somebody else will do a stream and then obviously people will watch that.
To be honest, I haven't seen it either. I subscribe to a few quite big channels, so I haven't seen them either.
Yeah.
But we will see how it goes. Hello there, John. So we will see how it goes. I'm not sure what you want to do. If you want to wait a moment or you just want to go.
Or we could just have a chit chat about the appalling state of Europe and how it's all going to go very wrong very soon.
It is, but it's somehow quite a heavy subject to switch then to what we had for today.
Yeah, but that's setting up a. They always end the news with the light-hearted story, don't they?
True.
Or don't they do that in the Netherlands or Poland?
True. Yeah, to be honest, because you started about the state of Europe, I'm still hoping we're not going to engage in war.
Yeah.
But the more I, the longer we are in this all bullshit, the more difficult it is It is for me to believe that we won't.
we have a viewer.
We have a viewer. Hi, Ludicrous. Do you want to join us?
He's very shy. Leprechauns are notoriously shy.
That would explain.
Yes.
Let's type to him. Okay, mate. That's okay. That's okay. We have a subject to plan. We just right now waiting if more people will show up with starting, and we start quite a heavy subject, of course, state of Europe. What is P-O-K?
No, he means okay. He's saying, is he okay? Yeah, he's just tired. He's gone to bed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's just very tired. He didn't sleep last night. He had a very busy day.
San runs him so ragged he's worn out, the poor man.
John, I am banning this kind of jokes from the stream. So yeah, shall we start? Because
well, let me see. Ah, yeah, yeah. Although he's a leprechaun, he's moving house.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
yes,
That's very stressful.
complaining about the cold.
Well,
because it's winter. Apparently, they're not here in the south of England. I still haven't turned the heating on in my house.
yeah, but you are a different species. I told you that.
Yes, I am a different species, but then so ludicrous. So there you go.
Oh, by Friday. So yeah, okay. So you're moving to another house.
Yeah, it's moving across the Emerald Isle, I think.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's start. I think we just start because it's almost 10 minutes later. Whoever wants to join will join.
I was just thinking that we're talking about funny names, and we've all given ourselves funny names.
Yes. Well.
No,
that's true.
but I mean, it's funny. We operate in a culture where many people operate under pseudonyms.
True. But you know, those names we've given ourselves are just like voluntary, right? It's
Oh yeah. But at least we get to pick our own.
At least that it's not like we stuck with some weird combination of our name and a surname that becomes ridiculous. So anyway, I think I'm going to share the screen and have a laugh, and I think we start with that one.
Okay.
So
why don't you read some of those lovely names from that article?
Yes, that was the idea. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, Judy Graham Swallows. Lucky her.
Yes, Jesus condom.
Wang Licking.
Yeah. Bend over, whatever better. Crabs?
I was going to say, because there was a famous British pornographer from the 70s and 80s called Bend Over, but his was obviously a professional name.
Oh
no. Have you read what Ludacris has written? There's a town in the north of Ireland called Muff. It also has a diving club.
Oh, Jesus. Who named it? Dixinormus.
I keep trying this one. In the game of cricket, they have a way of speaking. And my favourite line of all times was, "The batsman's holding the bowler's willy."
Okay.
And that is a perfectly legitimate thing to describe in the game of cricket.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, another one. We have Anurag, or I'm sure I'm butchering that one. Dixit.
Yeah.
Jakov. Justin Sider.
For some strange reason, I'm not seeing it in the online. Maybe it's just me. You might be sharing it in the Hangouts, but not on the stream. I'm just checking.
Okay.
I can just see my icon stuck up on the stream itself. Just check it's not frozen or anything.
Okay, that's weird. Let me check as well. Thank you for saying, by the way. The husband, because he's tired.
Yeah. That's what I thought, Lou. That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to check.
Then I'm sorry, but the thing is, I'm kind of stupid with it because I never do it right. And
there's if you go up to the top left corner, there should be a little green arrow.
yeah, you see, that's what I was exactly afraid, people telling me what to do, and I have absolutely no idea. But this is what I did: the green left arrow. Then I am choosing the screen. It shows me that I'm sharing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it isn't.
There we go. Whatever it is you've done, it worked.
Okay. The problem is I don't know what I've done.
Well, now it's on a lag, but it doesn't matter. Just don't leave it.
Is it still working?
Yeah, it's fine. It's
okay.
Weird because it's on a lag, so it's like what I'm seeing in one screen in the live chat and what I'm seeing on the YouTube is a few seconds later. But yes, it's
and thank you, Leprechaun. It's just that I don't know what I did to make it work. I will be very honest. I don't know what I did to make it work. Anyway, super great. Yeah, you can see it now, so that's yeah.
Because it'll, I think, go much better for the audience, otherwise known as Ludicrous Leprechaun, if he can see. If you can see what we're talking about.
Exactly, especially that I cannot really always pronounce it how I would want to. Anyway, we have a funny names like, you know, Wendy Wacko, Brownie Shittles, Shittles, a Dick Pound, or Peter Bonners. Okay. Heath Cockburn.
Funnily enough, it's not pronounced Cockburn, but anyway.
How is it pronounced then?
Coburn.
Okay.
Well, it is in Britain. He's an American, but in Britain it's pronounced Coburn.
Okay. Well, but you write it like that.
Mm-hmm.
BJ Cobbledick.
Yes, that is a really good one.
Yes, and the first time I looked at this, to be honest,
you thought it said Gobbledick.
No, but I just didn't pay attention to, you know, BJ. I just said, oh, Cobbledick, okay, and now it's like, it's even BJ Cobbledick. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, but if it was BJ Gobbledick, it'd be even funnier.
Mike Weiner. Beaver. There's really some Scrooge childhoods I see here, actually. Woody Health, that's also a good one. Oh my, you wanna pronounce this one, John?
My clitoris.
Yes, I knew you would do it better.
I've always wanted to talk about my clitoris.
Well, now you can.
Well, it was a secret because no one would have known I had one.
I'm sorry, there's also something Ludicrous Leprechaun says there's a town near Belfast called
Donaghadee.
Yeah.
Donaghadee. No. Donaghadee.
I cannot pronounce it.
No.
Which translates to St. Patrick's.
Irish names are not pronounced as they're spelt as a rule.
It's not helpful.
No, it's not.
I still can't pronounce it.
It's Donaghadee. Donaghadee. Which translates to St. Patrick's Church of the Dunces.
Yeah, okay. Donaghadee.
Donaghadee. Donaghadee.
Okay, Donaghadee.
Sorry, Ludicrous. We're just too stupid.
Yes. I'm Polish. Of course, I don't know how to pronounce. Come on.
No key.
Okay. Then I don't get it that much, and the first one was better. Donna Kadi.
Yeah, I think Kidi's funny though. Done a kiddie, as in done a child.
Yeah, that's true. Really? You can't?
Chewcock even.
Chewcock.
I
Seriously?
I think it's very hard picking on people from foreign countries.
Yeah, but you know, it's like if I go, someone comes to me or I go and we are just introducing to each other, and I hear something like that. I do not know how to stop the smile or even laugh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the name Wang, which is a Southeast Asian name, and there's a British comedian who's of Malaysian descent, and he opens his comedy routine. My name is Wang, because obviously it's funny in England, but perfectly normal where his family comes from.
Exactly, but it still stays. Someone would say, "Oh, hello, I'm Chewcock." Okay, we're done. So you have many different and weird names and a combination, like Yolanda Squat Pump. My God, Dr. Pornsak has a clinic. I don't know where, but Dr. Pornsak has a clinic.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of funny names. Dicky Head.
Bite a nigger.
Yeah, Bite a nigger. But those are the names of people ending up. I assume most of them, not because they changed their surname to something, but it's just a bit funny in some cases. For some people, you might say, I don't know, unfortunate.
Looking at the bottom one there, it's quite obvious he knew not to go with Dick. So he stuck the Yi, thinking it might be better.
Yes, but that's, might be. But again, Dick is quite old name, right?
Well, as I say, in English, it's only a short form for Richard. It's not a name in its own right.
Yeah.
It's only foreign people who think it's a proper name.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying. So you see, those people can have alternative. They can say Richard. I am going to respond to Ludicrous Leprechaun. A judge in New Zealand made a young girl award of course so that she could change the name she hated. Tallulah does the hula from Hawaii. What the hell? It's like, are you serious, Ludicrous Leprechaun?
Well, we can search it.
Exactly, we can search. If I'll manage with my... You do some searching?
I'll do some searching. Oh, there he is. He's stuck a link up. Parents lose custody of girl for naming her Tallulah does the hula from Hawaii.
Who hated that child?
Her parents, obviously.
Yeah. But that would bring us to our another subject. And that was also about...
Oh, it was ABCDE, not obesity. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. Obesity.
Yeah, I have an article.
It's pronounced here. Obesity.
Yeah, it is. Apparently, there is a name which is ABCDE, It's pronounced obesity. And apparently there are 328 people with that name. So, to be clear with you, if you listen, 328 children had a retarded parent so much that they thought, well, making my child, making sure that some extra misery in the life of my child will be there when he or she goes to school, and everyone will make a fun of my kid, and I'm going to name her, at least assume only her, I don't know, obesity. So we came across a news story yesterday about a 7-year-old girl, ABCDE. You read that right? ABCDE, as in the first 5 letters of the alphabet. We assumed there'd been a typo, but we were wrong. So very wrong, it turns out. The first name pronounced ABCD is a lot more common than you'd expect. According to the Social Security Administration database, 328 babies, all girls, have been named obesity in the United States. And of course it was in the United States.
Can I just interject a point?
Of course.
Feminists always complaining how oppressed girls are. In this point, they might have a point.
Yeah, the parents of those girls were not...
Because it's all girls who've been abused in this way.
Yes. Since 1990s, we've had obesities born every year except 91, 93, 94, 95, and 96. The name was given to an all-time high of 32 babies in 2009, though the number has slightly declined each year since then. Thank God. It should be like declining from 0, so it shouldn't be even declining. There shouldn't be a name like that. Come on.
I know. You have to wonder what's wrong with people.
The median age of obesity is... Hello, the Nix Radio. Somewhere out there is a pair of twins actually named Orangello and Limongello. Jesus Christ. And hello, Nix Radio.
Yes.
Fucking hell. The median age of obesity is 7.5, so that is long life and misery ahead of them. I mean, at least till they are legal to change their names.
I'm going to say that's what Depop was invented for.
And all but 11 of them are minors. So, and this is the other article basically that that I wanted to lead to. Apparently, a mom is furious after a Southwest Airlines employee made fun of her 5-year-old daughter for being named obesity, but people think she's to blame.
Yeah, of course she's to blame. No one else named the child ABCD.
Exactly. Hi there, Toxic Thread. I have a question. I already asked Ludicrous Leprechaun. He said no for if he wants to join. He said no. It's okay. No worries.
We could get Nix Radio on, could we not?
Nix Radio and Toxic Threads. Do you want to guys join? And
you have to wait a minute because it takes a delay.
Yes. If you guys want to join, you are really welcome to. So anyway, we're going to continue in the meantime. I'm sorry. So anyway, guys, you said of course they are to blame. The thing is that I expect people to have some level of being, professional. And you shouldn't make maybe the fun of the child, okay? But at the end of the day, indeed, I'm like, what the fuck were you expecting?
Yeah, and also you got to be fair. If you ask, if you come across a name and you'd be going, normally you might come across something unusual, but if you've thrown a curve so big, it's very difficult to have the composure.
Yes.
Very
difficult. And the thing is, like, I'm like, forget. So
he didn't mock the name. He didn't mock the child. It actually said was overheard mocking the child's name. So it's not the same as him saying to the child, "That's a stupid name."
Exactly, or even to the parents.
No, it's just he goes back to the cabin, the cruise area, and has a laugh about it, as you would.
As you would. And if you just can't think while you're naming your child, I'm sorry, this is what's going to happen. And I'm like, forget about, airport. This child is going to school.
But that is a disingenuous headline, because it said made fun of the daughter for being named. But he didn't make fun of the daughter. He made fun of the name. And that's a fundamentally different thing, these lying shitbags who write these articles.
Yes. That's a good point. I somehow thought it was written of the name. I read it now. I'm sorry. Yeah, indeed. So yeah, this is really, that's changing the story as well.
Oh dear. Sorry. Ludicrous cracking very shitty jokes in the chat.
Yes. Anyway, the Southwest Airlines employee was overheard. Yeah, it's now, you see, and this is what they're doing, because now we go to the article and you do read, a Southwest Airlines employee was overheard mocking a child named Obesity. A lot of people also get things from the headlines only.
Yeah, exactly. And the headline is lying, because he did make fun of the girl, because that's what I thought was odd.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a good, because I think if you want to read the article, then read actual article, and maybe you can read few articles on one subject and actually think for yourself what really happened. But knowing that, and writing the headline in a way that it actually lied to you is unprofessional. It's not something should happen, but of course nowadays it's all the time. Anyway, the 5-year-old girl name is pronounced Obesity. The girl's mother overheard and complained. The airline has now apologized, but people on social media have little sympathy for the mother.
Damn right.
The mother was left furious. She found out an airline employee had made fun of her 5-year-old daughter's name both in person and on social media. Tracy Redford, whose daughter's name is Obesity, said a gate agent for Southwest Airlines working at Modwain Airport in Orange County, California, mocked the young girl. Well, no, he didn't mock the girl, because he just did it, as John said, at the fucking back.
Yeah, and again it says was overheard a staff member making fun of Obesity. No, he made fun of the name, and that's a fundamentally different behaviour.
Yes, and it's a stupid name, and it's a
If you have a daft name, expect to be mocked. That name to be mocked.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really sorry, because I welcome Jazz.
Hey, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, I'm really sorry. It's just that I'm running it for Modwain today, and I'm new at this, so paying attention to the things that I maybe shouldn't.
Oh no, I thought you were doing just fine. That's why I didn't want to interrupt.
I was saying just that it's funny us talking about silly names when we've all given ourselves silly names.
Indeed.
Oh, trust me, I told Modwain that I would join, because I actually met people with strange names, and I have met the person with the worst name possible.
Okay.
And I told him, and it's a guy, and that I told him, your parents named you this because you probably were not supposed to be born, and your parents just hate you to death. They want somebody to beat you senseless at school. This kid's name was 123 Rice and Beans.
You sure they didn't take a shopping list and mix it up?
I swear that's his legal name. Numerical numbers 123 Rice and Beans.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Where are you from, or where is this guy from?
He's from Brazil. He's Brazilian.
And he's living in Brazil, so that was in.
So is it in English rice and beans, or is it the Portuguese for rice and beans?
It's in Portuguese. I just translated the name.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify.
No, I was just curious in what countries are more that so ridiculous names are legal, because it's just.
Yeah, no, you know, actually, I was talking to my mother earlier, and she mentioned about Johnny Cash, the story about the son, the guy named Sue.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the complete story of why the father named his son Sue.
Can you share?
Yeah. What happened is the father had a kid, a boy, and named him Sue, and then left the family. He left him behind. Now the boy grew up and named Sue. Of course, someone's going to make fun, and every time somebody made fun, he fought, beat the crap out of them, got beaten up a few times. And, once he became a teenager, still getting beat up, started to search for his father. He was like, I want to beat the crap out of him. I want to kill him, because why would you name your son Sue?
Yeah.
In his mid-30s, he found out where the father was. Yeah, he has his wife and kids and still angry. So he finally gets with the father, and he's like, hi, I'm your son. And he's like, well, how can I tell my name is Sue? And the father's like, wow, it looks like you grew up just fine. He's like, do you want to beat me up? That's what it looks like. Yes. But I want to understand first why. Well, because I figured, son, for this kind of world, you have to be strong. And I can't make you any stronger by being there. I can't make you any stronger by giving you advice. I figured the best way I can do that without doing my part of being a father, because I'm a terrible father, is just name you Sue.
Okay.
You grew up to be a strong man, determined, and you're so determined and strong that you found me. Now, I'm here. I'm explaining to you why I gave you that name. I wanted you to have a very strong and determined son. Here you are. If you still want to beat me up, I'm all ears, or face, or whatever you want to hit. And the son's like, I still hate you, but I definitely need to hug you.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, but some of these names, I went to school with the kid. His name was Peter Beetle. I mean, Peter, it's a common name. What kind of person has the last name of a beetle?
No, but you see, the thing is that with a last name, it's your last name. It's like, let's say I would have a stupid name, the last name, right?
Yeah.
Then it's how it is. But with your first name, when I actually have a choice, to name my son or my daughter, why do it stupidly? Like, for example, I remember when I was pregnant, I'm terrible with names, also with coming up with names, and my husband is really good with it. So I said to him, you know what? I want you to name our child. We didn't know yet, because it was too early, if it's a boy or a girl. So I said, I want you to name our child. I'm not going to be bothered with that anymore. This is completely your decision, except there are 3 names I do not want to have. So, and one of the names I didn't want to have, it was in case if it would be a girl, I didn't want to have a name that is in this country, Kiki. It's like, Kiki is like I'm sorry, name for a monkey. It's like, because someone asked me, why not Kiki? I said, because every time my daughter walks in the room, I don't want to think like that. So, seriously, no. So basically, I gave him 3 names that I really don't want. And then I said, you better with it. And he came up with a really cool name. But I could trust him, not giving stupid names, because in the end, it's a... At one point, I want to say, it's a... Sorry?
It's a punishment when you do, you know, certain names like Kiki. You thought of the monkey. I thought of the late night dancer.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm with Juz on that one.
And it still sounds wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes. Or the names that are really cute and lovely when the person is a baby, but I'm like, but think that this person will grow up, you know, an older woman, grown up woman, or grown up man. So this name has, you know, it's best if it would fit.
yeah. No, picking names for your kids, it's not as easy as people think. John, I don't know if you have any kids, but when mine was, you know, on the way, we sat down for a few months and picking names. Of course, I already had my names picked out for boy or girl. Now she had to go through like 500 names, and in the end, we ended up picking mine.
Well, I'm sorry, this is typical woman's thing. I can say it because I'm a woman. I mean, I didn't do it in the case of the name, but I just recognize it.
Yeah, she said that I was a very strange guy because normally guys, you know, pick a bunch of names because they want their kids to be glorious with that name, and the woman
really
that's nice and sounds great and harmonious and lovely. Women pick names on those patterns. I already had picked out names since I was 20. I'm like, okay, I got the names. Now I just have to make them.
You're weird. I never thought it in my life.
How many names do you got? I'm sorry.
I picked 2. One for boy, one for girl. If I had any more kids, somebody else would have to pick them.
Okay.
I mean, when I went to university, this is at the beginning of 1980s, and you know, you're meeting everybody, hundreds of people, and amongst the boys, there were 5 names: John, Steve, Dave, Mark, and Richard.
Yeah.
And that would, like, 90% of the blokes had those 5 names.
Then I must be lucky because I grew up in a town with 450,000 people, and only 3 people, including me, had my name.
Oh.
So
yeah,
unusual.
And this was from the whole of the UK, and even I shared a room with an American. He was called Steve. But I just noticed it at the time. It's like everyone you met had they were very small. All the men, that is, had a very small range of names for so many of them.
It's like when I'm 35, so when I was born, I guess a lot of people liked my name because my husband is always laughing that women from Poland, the half of them is named by my name, and the other half is just another name because it seems a lot of my name. So there was definitely less names. But speaking about Poland, for example, in Poland there is a law, and you cannot give just any name. You cannot give in Poland, at least it used to be like that, and I don't think a lot changed. You cannot give the name to the child if that name doesn't, how to say it in English, you have to be able to recognize the sex of the child, the gender of the child by the name.
Oh,
so like
see, that's
so
totally,
for example, like
me.
you have in America, I think, Charlie that can go to
well, it's not just that. It's not just that, but there are several English names that are boys, but in American they tend to be girls. So Adrian, for one.
Yeah.
Adrian is always a boy in Britain.
And in the United States, it becomes either way. So
I don't tend to have heard boys called it. I've heard a lot of girls called it. Robin's another one. Robin is almost entirely boys in Britain.
Hi.
Howdy.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, there are some unisex names, like Ludicrous has pointed out, Hillary.
Maybe it's also the name that the way Polish language operates, because trust me, when I hear Adrian or Charlie, I can understand that either boy or a girl has this name. But when I look at the grammar and how the names are pronounced in Poland, it just wouldn't make any sense. Other names you cannot give. You cannot politicize. I think some years ago there was a case that the parents wanted to give the name to their son Stalin, and it was just like, dude, no go.
Yeah, well,
you just won't allow to do it.
Adolf kind of dropped off in Germany at a certain point.
They would be very. I don't know if by now they would forbid you the name Adolf, but I actually think
they would not forbid. I'm saying its popularity went through the floor.
Actually,
no, I know, but
I actually think you can, or you're not allowed to name your child Adolf here. Because I remember a few years ago, there was a news story about the child being taken away by Child Protective Services and the parents going to jail over it.
Yeah.
Here.
Really?
Yeah.
You also cannot.
It was a form of child abuse because you're purposely naming your child, and you're purposely naming your child
to get beat
something
up
that's, you know.
Yeah, has such a bad connotation.
Yeah, and personally, I don't really care. I think a name's a name, and the name means whatever the person who has it, is. Like, if it's a good person, it's a good person. Doesn't matter. A name's a name. But it just seems like, if you're getting pissy about it, you're getting overreacted. You're overreacting to it. It's a name.
But people do. That's such sad
at the same time, imagine that, you are just kid growing up and you have to go to school every day with that name. And if it's a name like Stalin, as I said, in Poland, some idiot want to name a child like that. Someone want to name a child.
I don't know. Being called the Man of Steel is quite cool.
Look,
that's what Stalin means. It's a nickname. It wasn't his name.
Yes,
it means
but
the Man of Steel.
Yes,
when I went to school, no one got made fun of for their name being close to a dictator or a mass murderer. No one got made fun of for that. Specifically me, I got made fun of because my name was close to I don't want to say it on stream.
We'll discuss that later.
Yeah, let's just put it this way.
Well, you can type it in the stream chat and we won't read it.
Yeah. All right. Suffice to say, people were not very nice to me.
Yeah, people aren't very nice in general, though. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but Ramblings, what do you think then about the name ABCDE, which is pronounced very close to obesity?
Okay, you know what I think? I think it's a weird way to name. I would think it's a weird way to spell the name AB. I personally, if I was going to name someone Absidy, I'd name it ABSIDY or ABSITY. The name doesn't really matter to me. I went to school with a girl whose name was LaDasha, and it was spelled LA-A.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. There was a kid in my school whose name was Cheese. Names are not. It's not important. The character of the person is what's important.
I know, but unfortunately, first impressions do matter, and a name can get in the way.
It can. Well, Rembrandt missed the name that I put out there, but the ABCDE, I looked into that, and the only answer I can come up that why would you name your kid exactly like it's spelled, not like what Rambling was saying, which makes more sense, is that you're smoking too much stuff or sniffing too much stuff and you're not sharing for people to understand your broken mind.
Yeah, are you just too stupid with spelling, so you had to do it like that?
As I say, if you don't know how to pronounce a name, how it's written in the culture. I mean, I understand there are different cultures. So, like, I can't read an Irish name and know how it's pronounced because they do funny things with their letters. So do the Welsh. And it's just the way they are. Fine. don't have a problem. But if you're in the culture and you can't pronounce a name from how it's written, you're an idiot. You know, it's like
Yeah. And you know, as much as I am for raising children when you toughen them up and when you actually, you know, don't go too much into, oh my God, they laugh at you, because you know, children or even adults in life, if they assholes, they can find a perfect, you know, thing about you that's actually perfect and make it into, you know, something negative. But the thing is that it really comes with age. You don't know what sort of a child you will have, how difficult it will be for a child. And I think, and I need to now say it slower so I actually will say it good in English, depends on how strong your child has a character. You can put the kid through so much to toughen the kid up. So for example, one child I can push a little bit further than the other, and you need to think about those things, in my opinion, before you give the useless name that will give a kid every single fucking day, you know, laugh at school. I don't know if it makes any sense. And the other thing is, like, when the kid is telling you, like, okay, but they're making fun out of my name because it sounds like obesity, what is the argument for me to say that they shouldn't laugh in this case?
You don't need one.
That's the whole point. A name is a name.
Okay.
A name doesn't make a person, and that's where people go wrong really badly, real fast.
Yeah, I mean, like, straight up, you are taught from day one, don't judge a book by its cover. You don't get much closer to a cover than a name. And
Exactly.
if you judge someone based strictly on their name, which is why I don't have a problem with you naming your child Adolf or Stalin or Joseph, because that was his first fucking name. Joseph?
Well,
Yeah.
just
I don't have a problem with
wasn't
Joseph.
his name. Stalin wasn't his name. It was a nickname he gave himself.
Well, my
Yeah.
point.
Meant the man of
Joseph.
steel.
Joseph. That was his name, was it not?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's his first
And
name.
we still name people Joseph, and no one gives a flying fuck. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter how it's spelled. It doesn't matter. The most important thing and what you need to remember is don't judge a book by its cover and get to know someone by the content of their character. You're always going to make fun of someone for their You're going to make fun of someone for their nose, for their looks, for their clothes, whether they wear white socks for 8 years of their life, because I got that too.
Well,
You know,
you were right. White
it
socks for
doesn't
8 years of
matter.
your life.
Did we share the same
That's
parents?
stubborn.
You know, it's just like it's the most unimportant thing.
You know what? At one point, I can see, to some degree, I can agree with you. I can see where you're coming from. And, you know, if someone would come up to me and say, you know, my name is Obesity, I would not think of that person wrong, because, yeah, okay, so to
You
me,
don't know.
okay, so your name is Obesity. I don't know who you are. And you're
Yeah.
going to show me who you are. And based on what you are going to show me, you know, there will be my reaction to you. But somehow still, as I said, there are a few names I, for the life of me, couldn't imagine to name my child. Like I mentioned Kiki.
Yeah, no?
You know, I couldn't understand naming my child fucking Moon Unit, but no one stopped Frank Zappa.
Yeah, well, he was Frank Zappa. Come on.
I could not come.
The guy was already out there.
Okay,
Exactly.
point. Okay, here's a better one. I could not bring myself to name my child fucking Pilot Inspector and spell Inspector with a K. But shit, Jason Lee did that, so
Oh, bloody
well.
parents.
Yeah, no, he sure did.
You know, it's spelled
Who's
Pilot,
them?
PilotInspector.
That's the one I was trying to remember. The Geldofs, they had a daughter Peaches and the other one they called Foo-Foo.
No, that's when you know the parents hate their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a funny name, and I'd laugh at the name, but that's not going to make me, you know, think any less of the person. Honestly, if it's a funny name, I'm probably going to be more inclined to get to know that person.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, it's not going to make you judge the person by the name, or the rest of us on the stream, or people who are watching, and many other people. But the thing is, like, okay, as long as the clothes are clean, does it matter what you're wearing? No. And yet, I wouldn't dress my son to look ridiculous. To put some, I don't know, yellow shirt in a pink dots and some funny orange pants, just in the name of it's clean, it doesn't smell, it's warm, you look fucking ridiculous, but go.
Okay, well, what if he wants to wear that?
If he, that's the difference. If he wants to wear it,
Go at it.
then he can wear it. Although I would say, look, I'm telling you, use the mirror, look twice, son. Doesn't look good, but okay. You know,
I mean,
you
my
walk
mom
3 meters away from me. No, that's joking.
my mom used to do the same thing to me when I was growing up. She was like, "You can't go dressed out like that. You're mismatched." And I mean, she was pretty anal about it, to the point where, like, if the blacks were off a different shade, she would stare at me and she's like, "Why are you dressed like that? One of those is matte black and the other one's glossy. What's wrong with you?" And eventually, when I turned 7, I just got to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to wear whatever I want.
It's a difference between mismatching and a difference between having a really ridiculous outfit.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, one of my friends,
if you want to have ridiculous outfit because you want to, and then it also happened that, you know, either you learn your lesson because everyone laughed, either you old enough to can take it, okay. But it's something you choose because you want to, and then as I give you a fucking ridiculous name, and you're going to stuck with it for at least the year, you know, in this country, I think till you're 18 or 21, I think 18, before you can change it.
Yeah, but you're never really stuck with a name.
Well,
yeah, hear me out, right? I've gone by a nickname for my entire life, and it's not my real name.
Yeah, but it's because your name was a normal name. If your name would be fucking ridiculous, then you wouldn't need the
but it's all about how you introduce yourself. If you introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm Absidy, I'm weird," you're gonna rub yourself. But if you introduce yourself and you're like, "Hi, I'm so and so. This is my name."
No. I'm sorry, because we skipped so and so. So introduce yourself. Hello, I'm ABCDE. I came here for a job interview, and I was like, "Wait, what? You who?" "I'm ABCDE."
You can imagine it on a letter, like so you're sending in for a job application, and it says name, and it just says ABCDE. Someone's going to think this idiot doesn't know when to put the name.
And that's fair. That's fair, but that's where I would criticize the spelling, not the name.
Oh yeah. Oh no, exactly. And this is my point about a name should be pronounceable.
Exactly. Like I said, Rambling had the right point on pointing out that the spelling of the name should have been different than ABCDE.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely. Driver's license.
It's not the phonetics.
That person, if he was in the United States, will probably never get a driver's license, because even the DMV will make fun of them if I know. You need to bring your real name.
We have
your name is ABCDE, but no, your real name, not your fictitious, not your sovereign name. We need your real name. So this person not only got screwed by the parents with that name because of the spelling, now that person's going to get screwed for life because everybody's going to think that they're out of their freaking mind.
Well, at the age of 18, you
can
legally
certificate all the time.
Yeah, at the age of 18, you can legally change your name.
True, and I recommend it.
Yeah, but it's a long time. It is
a long time.
18 is a long time. A lot longer than 18 to 36. I can tell you that much.
I have straight up. I've already started to notice that because I'm 23, and it felt like I was 18 2 years ago.
23. Ooh, that's a long time ago.
I'm sorry, there is one thing, because if we say, I mean, in Poland you have rules. You cannot have foreign name without a really good reason. So I think if I would live with my husband in Poland, we might get a permission to give our son the name as we did because of the nationality of my husband. You cannot have weird written name. You cannot have a name when there are just, 1, 2, 3, 4, numbers. You cannot have names which are someone making fun of the children.
What about Jason? Does that count as a foreign name?
Yes.
Jason is a very old name from Greek.
In Poland, it's a foreign name.
Which is
because.
Which is why I'm gonna say this. I love you guys, but that is the dumbest fucking law I've ever heard.
Not maybe, but at the very same time, yeah. Look, if we don't set the boundaries, and we say, you know what, name is only name. Name your kids however the fuck you want. And then I go, for example, and name my daughter Shut Your Hole. I mean, how far you can get before you set the boundaries? Because if we're not setting any boundaries, you know what I mean? It's like, I understand when people don't like that there are set boundaries.
I get what you mean, but like, okay, for example, I've always loved the name Runa, but I don't think I'd be able to name my daughter Runa in your country.
Runa?
Yeah, it's just a weird name. It's a nice name.
Is that a name? I've never heard it.
It is a nice name, but for example, you wouldn't be able to name your daughter in my country, A-N-N, like
No, it's a bigotry to have 3 Z's in the name in Poland.
You wouldn't be able to name your daughter Anna, because we have a Polish version of it with which you say Ania with a I. So basically, you know, it's going to sound a bit terrible, but we do have a lot of beautiful Polish names, and I don't mind foreign names. And maybe that rule could be lifted, although lately they became more flexible on that one.
But that's a difference here, though, because, for instance, John is the English, but it's not spelt like that in Welsh. It's I-O-I-N. Is John in Welsh. So we can't even agree amongst ourselves on this little island.
Well, my name in America has a very common Americanized version of it, but my dad, being Italian, decided that he liked the Italian version better. So that's what my name is.
Oh, so you have you got the like the end on it? Oh,
yes.
Okay, because I was going to mention the Italian names, because there's you know, the name Nicola, which we would think in English is a girl's name. Actually, in Italian, it's a boy's name.
You know, straight up, I've always associated Nicola with a boy because Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because in Britain Nicola is, or in a lot of Europe it would be a female name.
But I'm sorry.
And in Italian it would be a female name because the A's the female version. It'd be Niccolo. Yeah. But for some reason boys are called Nicola in Italy.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I want us to address something that Toxic Threads put in chat, because I'm not sure I understand. When you said my name was changed, it's easy to do if they are under 5. You mean by the parents? It's easy to do for the parents to change their name and change their minds and change the name of the kid if the kid is under 5.
The parents, I'm pretty sure, can change the name at any age, but at some point I think it has to, if you're going to change the last name, it has to be an adoption.
No, I think the name change, it can go, but I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a public record thing, because once a kid is in school, you can't change the name. It's already on record. That's why they have to wait until 18 to change the name. So the parents can change it for the first few years because there's no actual public records besides the hospital records.
Which can change.
The parents can change the name of the kid. Yeah. Once you record that name into a public school or private school, whatever you want to do, now it's a public name to the whole country, not just, born records. That's why they say, oh, you can only change when you're 18, because nobody thinks of changing it for the first 2 years. For the first 2 years, the parents are enjoying that name because they named it. So if they changed it, The kid probably got beat up before it turned 2. So they never do. So they have to, the kids find out, oh, I'm 7 or 8 or 12, which is most of the time when you figured out your name is none. It's a crappy name that your parents gave you because for whatever reason they were toast, they were brain dead, they were hippies, or
did you just call them toes?
Toast.
Oh, I thought you said toes.
No, toast. Smoke too much crap, you become oregano and pizza.
Yeah, as opposed to being walked on your entire life.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why they say, oh, you got to wait until you're 18. Because by that time, you're already in school. Now you realize what happened, what your parents did to you. And I know you missed it, Rambly, but I wrote down the name of a kid that actually went to school with me. That's his actual name.
Is it
It's in the group chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually, oh my gosh.
So, when I met him and he told me his name, my first question was, how much your parents hate you?
Oh, man.
It was a good kid. We spend, all the time talking. He was a nice kid. He was quite intelligent. We didn't read the same kind of books, but his name. And he's like, I have to wait until 18 to change my name. I'm like, yeah, I get it. How much did your parents hated you when they found out you're getting born?
But this is something, I'm sorry, I want to jump in and I want to read a little bit of an article to make a comment about once, because that incident when the girl name was mocked, the obesity, right? The incident happened a few weeks ago when the family was flying home to El Paso, Texas, because obesity has epilepsy. They were pre-boarding the plane. Redford said that was when she overheard a staff member making fun of ABCDE, pronounced obesity. The gate agent started mocking my child's name, laughing, pointing at me and my daughter, and I'm talking to the other employees. So I turned around and I just said, hey, I can hear you. So if I can hear you, my daughter can too. I'd appreciate if you just stop. So look, here is the thing. We can argue now that I can even take the Rambling's point that, name is a name. I don't agree with it completely, but even taking your point. But here is the thing. Apparently, to the mother of that child, it's bothering when the child is making fun of. And yet she gives her name like that. Because if someone like you, sorry, Ramblings, you said your point of view and you give the name like that, okay, you don't give a shit, you don't give a fuck. This happened, right? But now imagine that you are a person who, don't want your child to be mocked, to made fun of, and then you give it a ridiculous name. I cannot see the logic.
Some people are so lacking in self-awareness.
If it made sense to you guys what I said.
I just came back from getting a drink, so I apologize. I missed.
Oh, okay. So you didn't hear so basically the article said that the mother was upset with people who are making fun of her daughter's name. The gate agent started mocking my child's name, laughing, pointing at me and my daughter, and I'm talking to the other employees. So I turned around and I just said, hey, I can hear you. So if I can hear you, my daughter can too. I'd appreciate if you just stop. So my comment was that, okay, you can have a parent with your point of view, which I don't completely agree, Ramblings, and then you give that, for example, obesity name, right? Because you don't care and you think what you think. Okay, but to that mother, clearly it was a problem that the child's name was mocked, even, not to the child's face. Okay, unfortunately they heard it, but it was bothering her that someone made a fun of her daughter and her name. So if you are a person who has a problem with it, why the fuck you give a name like that?
Again, I can't find an answer. I'm sorry.
No, but doesn't make a sense to you. If I don't want my child to be bullied or made fun, then maybe I would give him a relatively normal name.
Again, the spelling. Same thing that Rambling mentioned.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's fault of the spelling or what. In the end, it's ridiculous name, and you kind of a person.
I'm pretty sure that there's a bit of a disconnect here. Because when I first read this story, it was my understanding that she was mocking the spelling.
That was my understanding, because I read the same report, and I read ABCDE.
Yeah, it was my understanding that the
Okay.
entire uproar is over how it's spelled and not the name itself. Because
Exactly.
she looked at the spelling and she had no idea what the name was. Period.
Yeah.
Which is why I said it's all about how it's spelled, because you can't phonetically read that. You
Yeah,
just read
and
it as ABCDE. So my entire take on this is that they're not laughing at the name because of what the name is. They're laughing at the name because she
because of
spelled
how-
it like a child.
Yeah.
So in which case I would respond to you that the issue is once again not the name but the spelling.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. That's what
But
I'm saying. Yeah.
if you bothered with someone making a fun of the spelling of the name of your child,
Then you shouldn't have
Right.
spelled it like that, and I'll agree
No,
with you on that
exactly.
100%.
that's
But
my
that
point
also,
analogically. That's my point. If you don't care and you would give that name, okay, I still disagree with you, but you don't care, so we give that name. But now imagine that you name your daughter like that, ABCDE, and then you bothered that
Yeah,
that
but
you
what
know
gets me is she's set. The daughter's 7, right? So you're saying that
Five.
this mother has gone through 7 years and no one's pointed it out?
5.
I can't
Yeah,
believe that. Because she's
Can't
been to
believe it either.
hospitals and doctors and all sorts of things. Probably school if she's 7.
and if that's the case, that she's gone through 7 years without someone going, or without someone mocking her to where she could hear it, I would say that's a pretty mild
I-
reaction.
I
Yeah.
would call
If
it
you've
an isolated
legitimately gone
living.
7 years without someone mocking your child's name, and this is the
5.
first time you hear it,
Yeah.
5.
But
Either
again,
way,
long enough.
that's long enough. If someone hasn't mocked your child's name in 5 years, and this is the first time it's happened to you, yeah, I can respect that reaction. But again, my 2 cents is you still spelled the name like a retard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to say this name, and until you mentioned it, that it's Absidy or something like that, I'm
Yeah.
like, how are you supposed to say this name? It's ABCDE, and there's no way to actually say it. Now
Well,
saying
the article
Absidy,
said it for us. The article said it, a little bit. They said pronounced absidy, because cannot even really say. So
yeah, Absidy. Okay, now
Absidy.
that makes it more reasonable to understand it, but the spelling, it's where this child is gonna get mocked and attacked because the parents are too stupid to spell it like a real name instead of alphabetical letters.
yeah,
I'm actually not kidding when I say this, but I'm about 70% sure that one of the top 20 names in the past 5 years in America has actually been Alphabet.
Oh, you mean the stupid people that name their kids all kinds of stupid crap? Yeah, I know. I have a
And
nephew
I
with
mean,
one of those
literally,
names.
the name is Alphabet, not the alphabet as in the letters, but ALPHABET.
Yeah, the alphabet, name the alphabet. Yeah,
Well, at least
I
you can
know.
abbreviate it to the 2 Greek letters it means.
Yeah,
Alpha,
no,
beta.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
that's all it is. I mean, I got a nephew with one of these stupid names, and I mock my sister every time I talk to her because I'm like, you just hate your kid. Do you hate him because he's a boy, or you just hate him because you're the parent?
That said, I actually am kind of depressed that I don't know, and I mean, this is probably going to sound kind of messed up, but I'm actually kind of depressed I don't know any guys my age with a guy's name.
Really?
how old are you
And
again?
I mean this in, like, okay, you know what my name is? I put that in the side chat, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like a tough guy name, more or less. But
Well,
then
it's now
you've
a
got,
girl's name, so I mean.
can be that too. But then you've got, like, Kyle and Trent and Matthew and Lyle, and it's like, where the fuck are Bob, Vinny, Chris?
No, Matthew. To be fair, Matthew's a traditional boy's name.
It is a pretty good name. It's the closest I got.
I mean, it could be
how old are you?
Matt.
23. I do call him Matt. That's all I call him. But point in case is he's the closest I've got to what you would consider a regular guy's name, more or less. And for once, I'd like to be able. I used to know a Charlie, but he is no longer with me. So, but I wish I knew like a fucking Bob or a Mike or a fucking Eric or literally give me anything other than Lyle. Oh my God.
And can I ask you? I don't know, because I'm sorry, I have a terrible memory to this. And if you don't want to say it on the stream, it's okay too.
Yeah.
But can I ask you, where are you from?
Florida.
One
United
time?
States.
Okay.
Land of the sun.
There you got it. There you have it.
Florida has a reputation. This Florida man, I can't say I'm fully up on it, but I keep hearing this term, Florida man. Do stupid things or something.
Yeah, honest to God, I can't even pretend like we don't have a lot of weird shit that happens around here, but if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, America's just all fucked up.
Yeah, so's Europe, so we've got nothing to crow about.
That's why you need names like Hope.
It's like the joke is all the weird shit comes out of Florida, because in the past like 10 years we've had that dude who was high on bath salts who munched some people's faces off. We had the Pulse nightclub shooting, which people apparently equate to Florida heat. We have a lot of cops.
As opposed to repressed homosexuality in amongst the Muslim.
I think this was a Mundane Matt video where he literally, in the Pulse nightclub shooting, said it was something along the lines of, well, it happened in Florida. It's probably all that Florida heat driving him crazy or some shit like that.
Mundane Matt. It's a guy.
Oh yeah, no question about it. But I think I'm not 100%, but I think he said that like word for word.
I mean, I don't know where the guy came from, but if he was of Arabic heritage, Florida's mild compared to the heat in this Arabia.
Like Florida's not even that bad, at least where I live, because I live like in the...
saying. Compared to Arabia, Florida's cool.
Even compared to other places in America, Florida's not that bad. Texas is a worse place to live. Utah, Arizona, anywhere in the Midwest.
Utah, we ought to ask Toxic Threads about that.
I'm talking.
But at least it gets cold in winter in Utah.
And for the record, I'm talking strictly climate. Yeah. Strictly climate. It is worse to live in Texas or Arizona or Utah because it's hot as fuck and you're nowhere near the ocean, so you just bake.
Yeah, but it's one of the best places where you can sit on your porch and shoot snakes and lizards.
I can do that in Florida too.
No, in Florida you shoot alligators. I know because I've been there and I've done that.
Oh, I've shot you, dude. There's a pond literally maybe 300 feet from my house that alligators hang out in. When it gets hurricane season and the starts flooding and the pond comes up, you tend to see them wandering around the streets. It's a terrifying experience.
Taking it home and making some steaks.
I'm sorry, what?
You see the alligators walking down the street, I would go outside my shotgun, shoot it, take it home, and make some steaks out of it.
Yeah, no, straight up. You can see them walking down the street. You can see them sitting in people's yards. We had to, when I was young, we had Pomeranians, and we still do now. They're real tiny dogs. We had to lock them inside because when that, I think it was Katrina that came through, there were like 3 other hurricanes that came through the year before, and they flooded my backyard. And we had an alligator that camped out in the backyard, so we had to lock the dogs inside because, God forbid, you don't want to send them out fucking chicken tenders. But anyway, guys, this has been a lovely stream, and I'm sorry I have to pop in, say hey, and then go, but I've been getting blown up. Apparently, dinner's here.
So enjoy. Have a nice
your
meal.
dinner.
Yeah, I didn't have to get it this time.
It's good to see you, Rambling.
Yeah, good seeing you guys too. I'll be here next week.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Anytime.
You know, it makes me laugh talking about the heat because Britain is so cool that when it gets hot here by British standards, and it was Wimbledon, and the commentator was going, "Oh, how do you cope with the heat?" And the tennis players are going, "Heat? We play in Florida and California and Australia, and that heat."
Exactly.
Because we're so obsessed with how warm it gets here that when it gets hot for Britain, which is still not very warm.
And people have a misunderstanding of climate temperatures. I've been to countries where it's 110 degrees heat plus 120 humidity, and this is in the shade.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to translate that into real numbers. We talk centigrade here.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is centigrade.
No.
Oh no. Okay. 30, 40, 48, 47, about 52 degrees heat.
That's hot.
Yeah,
That's Arabia hot.
Yeah, and then it's more than 100% humidity, and that's in the shade. I swear, I went to these places, I'm melting to death, and people are just walking around like it's nothing. I'm like, you know what? If you think this is hot, let's join the cold. Cold, like I was in Brazil for the winter, and for anybody that grew up in places where it actually snows, Brazil doesn't snow.
It's very what's the word? Equatorial down there.
Yes, their coldest winter that I've seen, I think, and I probably got this number wrong.
Do they have seasons? Because if you're in the equator, it's the same all year round, pretty much.
Well, if you translate it to Fahrenheit, it's about 65 degrees. If you translate it to Celsius, I believe it was like 24 degrees.
Hang on, I've got a converter up.
So 55 to 65 Fahrenheit is
65 is 18.
Okay, so that is their coldest winter there.
Oh, that sounds nice because that's about the temperature it is in my room right now.
So I invited them over to my country, and spend the winter with me. And when they came over here, and they were dressed down there like we do here. They had a shirt, a sweater, a jacket, an overcoat, and all that kind of stuff because their 18 degrees is freezing them to death. So I brought them over here so they can suffer the 20 below zero, not counting windshield, spit freezing midair. And they said that I live in Antarctica, and I said no, that's 800 miles north. And they looked at me, was like, "You actually live in this?" I'm like, "This is actually, comfortable for me. Up to 10 below zero. I'm still wearing a pair of pants and a sweater."
I must admit, it always puzzles me when people come here from the southern part of India or from Nigeria or Ghana or other places in equatorial Africa, because I think it's so cold and miserable here. You're coming from these really hot countries. How do you cope?
Yep. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I lived in California. I've been through 27 countries in the last 35 years.
Cool.
And right now I live in North Dakota, USA. And here it gets extremely cold. It's cold right now. Right now it's like, I wouldn't say about 10 degrees. It doesn't affect me. I'm still wearing, right now I'm wearing pajamas and a sweatshirt to go outside and smoke. Winter really starts January and February, which is 20, 25, 30 below zero, not counting windshield and blizzards. Now, most people that I met can't withstand this. I'm like, how? I can't stand the heat, which is too hot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only get up to the point to avoid heat. It's getting naked. After that, you got nothing else to take off to get off the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I don't cope with heat. I don't cope with heat at all. So I like the cold.
I deal with the heat way better than with cold. But it's not only the temperature, it's also the humidity, it's the winds. I remember when I came from Poland, to the Netherlands, and for the first few months I was constantly sick, because in Poland it's quite normal to have, back then, -15, -20, okay, mostly -15, minus, 10 below zero, 15 below zero. So you just dress warm and you go. But here you have those humidity and you have those winds that really goes through you. And even though the temperature was really higher, way higher, I was actually cold and sick here. I had to really used to that weather. Then in Poland, I could go on when I was still working as an au pair. I would go every 3 months back to Poland because the children had a holiday. And seriously, I could catch a cold here. Like, no, actually, at some point I just had a cold here because I never seemed to be better. And then if I didn't have a fever, I would go to the bus, go by bus to Poland. And even though the long trip of 16 hours does weaken you not, 2 days and I would be healthy again. There is no clogged nose, no problem with my sinuses, no coughing, no all the stuff, because I wasn't cold and it was just -15, 15 below zero, 10 below zero. Good.
Could it not just also be pollution?
No, I actually really think it's the humidity, the way the air also goes. I had a feeling here I never had in Poland that the wind goes through you no matter what jacket I had on me.
Well, it's probably the same where you are, but where I am, which is, although I'm in Kent, there's actually nothing between us and the North Pole if the wind comes from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the same where you are because you're very flat.
Yeah.
And so although we're a long way south, the wind can come all the way from the North Pole, and obviously it traveling over water, picking up moisture as it's going.
Yeah. Well, if I remember, Poland has a very dry climate.
Yeah.
They have the temperatures, but it's very dry.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been in Poland since, I want to say 78, maybe.
What, were you a spy?
Between military service and closing companies, I work for a company that closed companies. So
I know, but in '78 that was before the end of the Iron Curtain. So
how did you get in?
Odd.
Well, I was in Germany before they tore down the wall too. So
yeah, I know, but Germany had a western part.
Yeah, I got pictures from both sides of the walls.
But no, it's all right. It just sounded odd.
But yeah, no, I remember seeing you here and there from each place that I've been. Like Poland had a strange drink that I don't remember, but it got me drunk quite nicely and had very, very gorgeous women. Not that I can remember any of their names.
But
or pronounce them.
Have you seen any gorgeous women before you got drunk? Because those two might have something to do. Like you just been drunk a lot and then all the time, and then you think.
Oh no! I never got drunk to the point that I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't have that kind of luxury. I always know what I'm doing. I'm always in control.
I'm not saying that you don't know what you're doing, although girls around might seem to be prettier.
Oh no, they were already great looking when I was sober.
Okay. No, I'm joking.
It's okay.
To be fair, a lot of people say that there are gorgeous women in Poland.
They are. I mean, I've met a lot of gorgeous women all over the world where I've been. Married some of them and divorced all of them, but.
What, you divorced more than you married?
No. All of them.
He said he married some and divorced them all.
Yeah, all of them that he married.
Literally, don't worry, he said.
I'm not worried, but God, even.
Well, if you count the mother, my daughter, my 2 ex-wives, then I divorced more than I married.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, I'm apologizing too. She did warn me about being such a twat.
No. I warn you only about the jokes directed at me. And that was a joke. We have another joke with John. Said, I'm banning such a jokes from the stream because of the article that's some week ago or something that Australian universities
about the sarcasm, yeah.
Sarcasm from campuses. And I'm like, wait, what?
I'll be lost. Sarcasm is my main means of communication.
Wait, hold on. I missed that. Some place where they said you can't use
universities in Australia.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to communicate if you take sarcasm away?
That's what I said. This is my main means of communication.
You take my sarcasm away. The only communication I'm going to have with people is hi, how you doing?
And even that can be made sarcastic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But this is actually, you know, I really wanted to make a video on this one, but I really don't have a time for it. This is very dangerous. This is, you know, we are laughing about this, people laughing about this, but this is exactly made to basically disintegrate people.
Well, this is where mass civil disobedience comes in. If someone makes such a stupid law, you just get everyone breaking it all the time.
Yeah, or, you know, if you think you get in enough trouble, like it starts with the university, right? Look, so I say the sarcasm is banned for now. So there will be certain consequences. I don't know what the consequences would be for reporting someone for sarcasm. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really looked into it. But then imagine people who would be at the university thinking, okay, I have my life, I have my friends, right? I just shut up when I'm here.
No,
I simply shut up
because here's the trouble, right? Okay, you can say something, and it could be sarcastic or true. So my defense would be, if anyone ever tried to say he was being sarcastic, I said, no, I was being literal.
That's the point. It's a misunderstanding communication. You can't put a law on something like that. It's the same thing as saying, well, from now on you can't say jokes.
Yeah, it's an interpretation that someone is being sarcastic as opposed to literal.
And yet there are jokes you cannot say, and yet there are definitions that words are violence, and who would have thought about
that? Exactly. And they all need resisting with all our power, because these kind of crimes are not acceptable in a free society.
True.
So you as I say, what you do is you just engage in mass disobedience.
It's stupidity at the same time. Besides, you put a law against sarcasm. Okay, now you've done that. So now you have to put down in the law the definition of sarcasm. What is your definition of sarcasm?
But that's the worst thing. They don't put these things in the law. They leave it really. It's like, for instance, right? You know the Count Dankula case, and he got found guilty of causing gross offence.
I get it.
And no, it's not defined in the law what constitutes gross offence, because at the end of the day, offence is whatever a person feels it is. That there should be no law about causing offence. There should be no hate speech laws. We unfortunately have them, but there's no place for them because you can't define them. It's as simple as that.
A verbal offense, like they're saying, the offense, can be defined because it's all on the eye of the beholder.
That's what I'm saying. Such laws have no place in a modern democracy, in a free country, and yet our countries have them, which proves they aren't free.
Yes, and it's really, you know, what I don't understand is at one point those, you know, the loudest social justice warrior types and feminists, they still, like, it's still said that it's small part of the nation, but yet they're gaining a lot of power. Because for whatever reason, but I'm asking myself, I'm asking myself if actually people will be disobeying that and use the sarcasm, you know, endlessly. Because, for example, right, I hear from what college or university, but I'm not sure it's not the only one in England, when the students say, well, when we write a paper about something, we have to use Google. We cannot use other sources because we will fail. And you would think that people would just massively protest that and use everything but Google, and yet they don't see the problem with it. They don't see how it's dangerous. So I just don't. I am a bit afraid that young people nowadays, they are first of all too soft. They don't really understand where the danger is really lying, and they just won't do a lot of things because, well, then I shut up for this, for this time. I don't know, because the problem is also that, yeah, it's ridiculous, but in the end, they're making a loss like that.
Oh,
So
I know, and this is the problem, because people need to turn around and say, no, this is not acceptable.
It is not accepted. It's not even understandable to make a law like that.
But it has to, it's the sort of thing you have to stand up against en masse. You can't do it individually. You'll be picked off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not everything can be done by one person. You do need a group to support you to make the claim make some sense.
Yeah.
This is that for that university, you said Australia, that's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
How again, they make a law for sarcasm, but they make no definition of what exactly is sarcasm that you can't do.
But this is modern culture, and this is what drives me mad.
But even
because what's happening is people are making decisions without any thought for how it'll work in practice, and it drives you nuts because it's easy to make a decision.
Oh, that's
it's hard to implement a decision.
Make a follow-up.
Sorry.
The thing is, though, that even if they could define sarcasm, even if they could, right? And we all could agree on this definition, this law shouldn't exist anyway. Because basically, you're banning a person from speaking. And we really are, it feels to me like basically we're being prepared for, hardcore communistic times again. Because, and people don't know about the communism anymore. Young people don't understand that, roughly 1 out of the 3 people were informants. That was including your family. What censorship is doing, and it doesn't matter if you go the way the censorship that just forbids to talk, about political stuff, or you do shit like, sarcasm not allowed, this not allowed. If it's done for long enough, and if it gets powerful enough, we will again approach the times when husband will not trust his wife, and a wife will not trust his husband, and they both will not trust their kids. And this is the thing what people don't understand. And to people who want to hear about this, I'm seriously saying, if you think you could be at least, we lost John for whatever reason. If people think that when I'm saying that the families, can still disintegrate, that the people will not trust each other, if you think you can trust your family, that no one hold the grudge against you, that no one will, would tell on you from your family just because they could, then you're naive. So,
yeah.
And because young people don't understand how significant it is, what can it actually mean, these things, I don't think they're going to oppose and fight, because they just don't realize what would it really mean. Like, I've heard people, I actually read people on my Facebook seriously saying, yeah, we cannot use sources other than Google if you write paper about something. Otherwise, our college will fail us, our teachers. And yes, we know Google is lying, not telling us everything, but so what? We know that. And they don't understand the fact that, you make people use only Google for long enough, eventually people forget that the Google is lying. And this behavior, this position of so what? No, it's not so what. It's if I would go to my teacher, okay, I'm only having a high school, but when I had to write the paper, right, about something, it doesn't matter if it was literature or biology or history. Sometimes that was like we had to read the book and then you had the paper because they wanted to check if you did read the book, right?
Right.
But sometimes we had to
That's
write
the
the
whole-
paper
that's the whole
just
point.
about something. Sometimes we had to write the paper just about something. If I would go to a teacher and ask, what sources do I have to use? The teacher would look at me like I'm an idiot, like I'm taking the piss, like, your problem. You have to find the source. I want to have a paper on this subject, and you have to find the source. You have to find out, the books, the articles, the newspapers, whatever.
Yeah. About that, I have some discussions sometimes with my youngest brother because he's a different generation I am and other people. In my days, you wrote an essay or something for the school. Like I said, you have to go find all the information you can. You got to go through books, encyclopedias, newspaper, talk to political, assets or something. These days, people don't do any research. All they do is Google, and they're done. Not every information that is out there in books, it's in Google. People not.
Indeed.
Apparently, my dinner guests are here. But before I go, I just want to make sure that we understand. Some names for children are bad if the parents don't learn to spell. If they can't spell, for Christ's sake, delegate with some of the people that actually speak the language or any language for that matter. Because naming your kid A, B, C, D, E and trying to make people understand that it's absidy is not going to happen.
No.
I'm a very educated person. I have my college degrees. I speak 5 languages. A, B, C, D, E to absidy never even crossed my mind. So for people that never heard of it, they're going to have the same reaction I did. I'm like, why would you name your kid alphabet letters?
Exactly.
Give them a real name. Absidy, it's actually a name. It sounds great. If it's for a girl, fantastic. It sounds good. But the way you spell it is going to ruin your freaking kid.
Yes.
You want to make your kid miserable. That's what you do.
And
That's
the thing is,
kid.
This is indeed that I wouldn't know how to say it, so I would say A, B, C, D, E.
Like I said, I read the article, but I didn't read the one you had where they actually spelled the name out for people to understand. The one I saw just said A, B, C, D, E. That was it. And I'm like, how are you supposed to call this kid when he's growing up? A, B, C, get over here. D.
Yeah.
Absidy sounds like a name, sounds a very nice name for a girl, but not A, B, C, D, E, for crying sake. Spell it like you wanted to say it.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
If your kid lives long enough to be 18 and change the name to something that people understand, even absidy, change it to absidy for crying sake. But kids these days are miserable. They are broken. They have no self absorption. Everything, there's a meltdown for them. Everything is bad for them. Their life is over. I don't know if it's because of technology or whatever it is. My days, if you had a bad name, you just talk to your friends and you'll find friends that actually like your name and become good friends. But technology made kids vulnerable to their own little tiny minds.
And I don't think it's only technology. It's the latest say that, your child cannot be unhappy. So, if your child basically is like what's pissing me off, like not counting the score of the game, because everyone should be happy and wanted to play. And I'm like talking to the parents even when I was au pair. I said, if you want to raise the winner, you let your kid lose, because your kid needs to actually know how to stand up. Because nowadays we make a safe situation for our children so that they feel safe and confident. But we forgot one thing: you make a person who will feel confident and safe only if everything goes as planned. But most things in life don't go as planned. You don't get what you want. You fail. You make mistakes, and you have to just stand up and rise from it and learn from your mistakes and go on. So, for example, when even now here, parents hear that I'm going to count the score of the game with my son, I said, yes, of course. Either he wins or I will win, or his team win or the opposite team wins. And I hate when it's like a sport day and a participation medal, so everyone gets the participation. Why the hell you should run as fast and be faster than anyone else if everyone gets the medal at the end of the day? You have to learn, in my opinion, how to lose. You have to learn that deal with negative emotions.
Yeah, no, but I don't know. When my kid was growing up, she got picked on a little because of her name.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her, Faye, you don't like your name, you can change it. I picked your name. It's a historical name. I like it very much. And that's what we picked. We are your parents. We did our best job to pick you a name that will formalize you as a woman, as an intelligent person, which you will become. You just have to remember one thing: a name does not make a person. A person makes that name.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious what's the name when you said historical, but you don't have to say. That's okay.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I name my kid. Her name is Morgana.
Oh, it's a really lovely name.
Okay, from historical points of view that I have access to and collected over the years.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a boy, his name would have been Alucard.
Oh wow.
So I already, like I said, I already had these names picked out for years.
Yeah.
All I needed was kids to name them. But she got picked on, and my grandfather was military. My father was raised in military, so I was raised in military, and I am, former military. And my kid was growing in military, and I told her one thing, Fight. The rules of the house are simple. If you're having a problem and you don't know the answer, talk to us. We're the parents. We're not going to solve the problem for you. That will never happen in this house. We will advise you on how to solve the problem. You pick the solution and deal with it.
Yeah, and we will support you. We will stand by you.
Yes. Now, of course, being who I am and how I raised my daughter, I should have expected some of the answers that she decided to conclude to herself in solving one of the problems, which she was going to school and there's this boy, he was making fun of her because he kept calling her Morgan instead of Morgana.
Mm-hmm.
And she told him, my name is Morgana. If you can't say my name correctly, I advise you to stop talking to me and stop saying my name to other people. Otherwise, we are going to solve this problem. And the kid came over to the house and, he brought his parents and we sat down and we talked to him. And I was like, well, my daughter's name is Morgana. I advise you to say Morgana. Otherwise, I'm going to give your kid a name too. And this will be fun for me. So the next day, past the weekend, on a Monday when they went back to school and they were back in class, he said Morgan. She hit him with her desk. She picked up her desk and beat the living crap out of him until the desk broke. I got called in, and the principal was like, well, she beat him up. I'm like, is he dead? And the principal was like, oh, no, he's injured. Then we're done here. Don't call me ever again unless the kid is dead. He's not dead. I'm not interested. Because the way he talks to my daughter, he's lucky I didn't show up and beat him up at the desk.
Yeah, and I can understand that approach. And this is like, it's also so easily solved. Like, when I was working, fair enough, I was older, but that could be, you know, what I wish people do more. When I was working here, and the guy was calling me all the names but my name, which I didn't like. He told me he cannot remember my name, so I gave him the short version. But he was doing it on purpose, and all the, you know, honey and love. And don't freak out, I'm not a feminist, but the way he was doing it, it was very inappropriate. And
yeah,
I'm not the person
I
who
know
behaves,
the type.
Yeah, and I'm not really the person who behaves at work like I like flirting or something. Place of work is a place of work.
Yes.
Me.
Now, of course,
Because
I'm not saying, you know, people to misunderstand, they don't like their name and this and that. Don't grab a desk and beat somebody up to death. But
yeah, I understand that.
Stand up for yourself and make them know that you're proud of your name. You might not be. You don't have to even answer that.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to like my name.
You have to stand up and tell the other person that they don't have the right to talk to you like that. No person has the right to talk to another person like that. Yeah, my dinner.
Oh, but I wasn't. Sorry, but I just want to straight one thing up. I wasn't going at you or something, because I understand her eventually dealing with it. Yeah, I think she was waiting long enough. She told him several times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just ignoring the guy because, well, and we had to work together. Oh my God, he was going crazy.
Yeah.
At some point, I thought I will be the beaten one.
Listen, I've tried to let you go, but my dinner guests are here.
One quick question. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be funny. Do you have your channel? Do you wanna
on Discord?
Do you have your channel on YouTube? Do you make any content?
I do very little gaming videos. Sometime next year, I'm going to start doing videos on resin work and woodwork.
Oh, very cool.
Hopefully. So I'll be letting you guys in. I'll post it.
But if you want, you can name your channel now. I'm kind of stupid with it because I do it first time, so I'm not going to leave the link.
Oh no, don't worry. I'll let Modwain know, and he'll tell you, and you guys can watch that. Right now, there's only video game videos on it.
Yeah, but if you want to name your channel, if someone wants to check it out, then feel free.
Yeah, I'll do it eventually. I gotta go. My dinner guests are here. They're banging on my door.
Thanks a lot, and have a good one.
You too. Have a good night.
Have a good night. And this is how we end the stream. Jazz is leaving us because he has a guest for a dinner. Thank you all for coming and for listening and for participating. Thank you, Toxic Threads. She has an amazing channel. Please check it out if you listen, and subscribe. Real Raven also makes some good stuff. If you haven't checked it yet,
have a good night all.
Please check. Of course, sorry. And I think that's just us, actually. Thanks, guys, for coming. I will see you next time. I hope you have a good one.